If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say,
Uh-oh.
right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to
Ooh.
eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come
Oh,
out
I'm in
of
heaven
nowhere and
already.
just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this.
Hey, what are German women like? I usually base the countries I want to visit off of how beautiful the language is, right? Like like Spanish. Spanish is beautiful. Uh, Portuguese, um, Italian is lovely. Uh, Sweden, I like Sweden. But German, I don't know about German. The language is kind of aggressive, but there are a bunch of raves that I want to go out there, so I'm gonna have to put up with it regardless. Anyways, there's this lovely German woman who has her take on, you know, her competition in the West.
I already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say,
Uh-oh.
right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to
Ooh.
eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come
Oh,
out
I'm in
of
heaven
nowhere and
already.
just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this.
So I have this question for the passport bro community. How is it this instant? Like how she's mentioning she met a guy and she was, all of these lovely things for him. Like once you guys go to a new country, you get settled in, you explore the city a little, you go out at night, maybe to the clubs or whatever. Like how instantly does all this happen, right? Because I realistically, it should be the same process as if you were still in the United States, right? You meet someone, you get to talking to them a bit, you go out, and like this level of femininity, you might not really see it until date date 2 or 3. You'll get hints of it early on, but you're not gonna get this level of not this level of selflessness out in the States. At least that's been my experience. So is it just that instant when you go to another country? Because then that's crazy. Because then now I have this incentive to go to a place like Germany and maybe find a pretty young thing, to cook for me and to rub my head and tell me everything is gonna be all right. I would like that. I would like that, but I know it's not so instant, right? And you still have to be charming and like a successful s esque guy to even woo a young lady anywhere.
So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him. Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So, gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young, it doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
Okay, that my lady, I've been watching Game of Thrones. Amazing. Let's stick to that though. Let's stick to how American women are lost and delusional, and they will not settle till their grave. Till their grave, they will not settle. Right? They're that delusional. Let's stick to that, and now let's not say black people don't have a family unit. Maybe in your husband's case, he didn't have much of a family unit. Um, no, wait, dang. Okay, German woman might have a point. Black women, hear me out. Hear me out. She may be onto something. Okay, 80% of single parent households have only the mother in the household. Right? There's an 80% chance that the father will not be there. In Black America, it is about 50%. There's about a 50% chance that those kids are being raised with the father not in the household. 50%, right? Compared to white children, where there's a 15% chance that the father's not going to be around. But in Black America, there's a 50% chance. Heads or tails. Are you coming back with milk or nah, dad? So that is our case as black people, right? And for her, this German woman, to say that there is no family unit, well, if there's no father in the home, then there's no family unit. Now, my queens, my black queens, my single mothers, shout out to y'all. Y'all don't get the credit you deserve. You're really holding it down. We love you. We appreciate you for that. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving your own children. All right, unconditionally. That's fantastic. Right? I mean, you shouldn't have. You should have had no business dealing with a man who did not want kids or your kids. You shouldn't. I mean, that's on you. Personally, I do. There is some accountability to be had, but it's not about that right now. Okay, it's about the family unit, and without the dad there, without the father there, it could lead to a lot of negative outcomes. Like, first to come to mind is like your daughter is a hoe and she's on a stripper pole, and your son is a criminal. He's in prison, like that, or a drug deal. I don't know. These things have a huge effect on children, whether when your father's in the home or not, right? Like there's so many women who are just overly dramatic, don't know how to point out a good man if he smacks him in the face, figuratively. Um, there are men who are just so soft, always raised with the mother's emotions and the emotions of the sisters. Like, he's just some mushy emotional guy who's just trying to just love and be the opposite of his father. Meanwhile, he's turning off every girl he's interested in because he's damn near he's a woman. He's not a masculine man. These Having a father in the household plays a huge role. Okay, so with that being said, okay, give this give this German chick a break, because she had a good point. Maybe she had no business, you know, bringing it up. Um, but obviously her husband shared a lot with her and probably shared his the black experience for him and in his community. So I guess I say all this to say I'm going to Germany.